What is up, everybody? Kyle here once again, and today we are going to dive into Jakks Classic Superstars Series 2. So we've already done Series 1, Series 2 is next. This will be the weekly deep dive every Tuesday. It's going to take us about a year, and we're going to get through every single Jakks Classic Superstars series. We're going to deep dive, we're going to talk about them, we're going to show them one by one. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you can keep up with all the Jakks Classic Superstars talk we're going to have over the next year. You can always go back and view the videos as well. So should be nice, and if somebody's looking for a checklist or something, hey, you can come to these videos real quick and you can see what we got and what we're working with. So without further ado, let's get into Series 2. Alright, before we start Series 2, I got a right or wrong from the Series 1 video. Holy cow, I got so excited, got so wrapped up into things. I had Bret Hart here off to the side, and I forgot him in the Series 1 video. It didn't even occur to me till after it was done. I put a little asterisk in the video. We were going to talk about Bret at the start of episode number 2 on the Classic Superstars. So here it is, Classic Superstars Series 1, Bret Hart, and honestly, one of the best ones in the set. Outside of the Warrior, this is my favorite figure that came in the set. We hadn't had a Bret Hart figure in quite some time. So to get Bret and Warrior in that set, holy cow. Jakks Classics came out with a lot of Brets from here on out, but it was just awesome to have this Bret in the collection. I remember seeing this at the same time I got the Warrior in Series 1, and this was a no-brainer for me. But there it is, Bret Hart Series 1. A few things I don't like that got improved upon on a later Bret's, for sure, is the belt. You know, these early Jakks Classic belts, or Jakks belts in general, were pretty poor. I mean, not pretty poor, very poor. They do take away from the figure just a little bit. I wish they would have came with a nice belt in these. You know, down the line, the Deluxe Classic Superstars came with some awesome belts. I wish those would have been there from the get-go. Would have been very nice. The back of the package here for Bret Hitman Hart debuted in 1976. Weight 235 pounds, 5'11". Finishing move, the sharpshooter, of course. Titles, WWE World Heavyweight Champion 5 times. Intercontinental Champion twice. Tag Team Champion twice. Favorite quote, I'm sure you all know, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. The back of the package showing the rest of Series 1, of course. And then the Bret Glamour shot up top. And the good one on the side, the same picture. So that is Bret Hart from the Classic Superstars Series 1. You know, every once in a while we'll probably have a couple of errors in these videos. There's things we find out after. You know, if that happens, I'll call a spade, we'll talk about it, and we'll add it to the next video and whatever. But there it is. Bret Hart, Classic Superstars, Series 1. Let's get into Series 2. Alright, let's start Classic 2, Classic Superstars Series 2. Let's start it off with Mankind. This is a great figure to have. Wasn't terribly classic back in 2004 when this set came out, but now it's totally classic. And that's a beauty of this line. I say it a lot, but things came out in this line that weren't really classic in a lot of people's eyes at the time. But as time rolled on, and we're 15, 16 years from this is definitely classic. That's why the beauty of this line. You know, if there was a line that came out today, they could do the same type of thing. And 20 years down the line, hey, this is classic. Just really cool to do that. And this Mankind was probably the best Mankind figure ever released up to this point. I actually have a soft spot for some of the Bone Cruncher figures of Mankind, especially the first one in the traditional brown old school suit. I love that figure. I also love the ones that kind of represented this with the removable mask. I thought those were good for Bone Crunchers. R3s and Titantrons were absolutely garbage to me, unfortunately, but I absolutely love this figure. This thing came out, I was all in. Classic Superstars 2 came, for me, right on the heels of Classic Superstars 1. You know, I've told the story in my first video, watch it, where I found Classic Superstars 1. I wasn't really paying close attention to the internet like normal, just because I was so busy in life at the time. But I remember finding Classic Superstars 1, and I think it was just like a month later, maybe, I stumbled into my weekly visit to Toys R Us, and here was Classic Superstars Series 2. I didn't know if there was a 6-month gap in between, or they were busting them out every month. It was kind of fun not being in the know and knowing what was happening and being surprised. A lot of us miss that in life. We don't really get many surprises at the toy shelves. I wish we could, but I don't know. I don't know if I would take it either way. It's fun to be surprised, but I also don't want to waste a bunch of time searching for things that you don't know exist. And anyways, Classic Superstars Series 2, Mankind. Got the smiley face tie, which is cool. We talked just a little bit ago about Bret Hart and the unfortunate belt. This one, no different. Love the Mr. Socko was added to the figure. I think that is super cool. That would be a big miss if it wasn't. Very awesome figure. You know, the typical Jakks Class Superstars, they kept it through the entire line. The packaging is the same. The package uniformity is key. That's why it is the greatest line of all time, in my opinion. Read the back here. Mankind debut 1986, 287 pounds. Height 6'2", finishing move mandible claw. Titles: WWE Champion, WWE Tag Team Champion, WWE Hardcore Champion. Favorite quote: "Have a nice day," of course. Mankind on the side there. A little picture of him. Same picture used on the back, of course, like all these. A very, very strong figure. Really, really enjoy this. You know, the Mr. Socko adds a nice touch to it. The only default, like I said, is the belt. Just terrible belt. I wish it was a cleaner, more eye-appealing belt, but it is what it is. Jakks still finding their groove. This was an interesting set we're going to get to in some of the other figures, but they were finding their groove with this Series 2 that was going to set the stage for all the way up to Series 28. So there it is, Mankind. All right, next up, we did Mankind. Gotta do Dude Love. They put Dude Love in Series 2 along with Mankind. No Cactus Jack in Series 2, which is a bit of a disappointment. I don't think they had quite the rights from Foley or whatever it was. Cactus Jack was released way later on down the line, a couple different times. But this is a very interesting figure, this Dude Love. We'll show it first and we'll talk about it. But there he is on the front there. You can see him, got the headband. You know, a lot of people think this is the ultimate Dude Love figure, even over the Mattel. They like the tie-dye much more on this figure than they did on that one. Typical Jakks packaging, which we all know and love. There's the picture on the side, his name on the other side. You can also see right here, limited edition. So we'll talk about that in a second. There is the back. You can see the same picture on the front. No headband on his picture there. You can see the rest of the set in the back. Let's see what it says here. Dude Love, 1986, 287 pounds, 6'2", mandible claw, have a nice day, WWE Champion, WWE Tag Team Champion, Hardcore Champion. So the same as the Mankind one. But the key to this figure was, this was the randomly packed, limited quantity Dude Love figure. They started, I guess this would be the start of the chase. They only really did this here. They didn't do a lot of this stuff in the Jakks line. I think it was a touch and go. Let's see what works. Throwing things at the dartboard. What's going to work? What's not going to work? So this was randomly packed, I believe, every couple of cases. I remember at the time thinking back. I mean, this is 2004, like I said. The first case I saw these, I got everybody but this one. It was not in there. And I struggled finding this one for a while, and I want to say I ended up buying this off of eBay. I got sick of missing it or it not being in cases or whatever, and I said, that's it, I'm just going to get it done. I'm going to get it off of eBay. I probably paid $13 back in 2004. Who knows what it was, but that's my memory of this figure. The interesting thing on this figure as well was, so this is kind of a chase, I guess you would say, a limited edition chase figure. Very similar to what Mattel does with Elites right now, but this also had a variant to it. So I don't have both versions. I didn't feel I need them, but he's got the wristband. It's the tie-dye wristband, I guess you would say. There's also a yellow version of just yellow wristbands. Just a factory error. That's not done on purpose or anything. I remember that was kind of a Dude Gate back in the day. I guess the original Dude Gate. But a very cool figure. And you look at the back of the package, too. It shows the limited edition right underneath his picture there. He does not have the headband in the picture. Also different pants. It's funny to look at some of these prototype sample pictures on the back. They don't look what the figure actually looked like. That's very interesting. They wouldn't change that. I don't know the ramifications and how all that operates, but that is the case on this one. They didn't change it. But a cool figure, a great face scan, a great, they're missing the teeth. They got the details right. I mean, a lot of people crap all over the Jakks Pacific figures, but you guys got to take yourself back to what we were getting at the time. Titantron Live, R3s. I know there's some people that like them, and I get it. I don't. I hate them. I thought they were absolute garbage. I thought this was such a jump into the future. And people even crap on these, like I said. But at the end of the day, this was the precursor to Mattel and what we have now. You can't just go from garbage to extremely awesome overnight. It takes time in the figure world. And this was the start of the next level of toys. And we owe Jakks a lot for doing that. That is for sure. And I don't think they get the credit that they deserve for what they did in the 2000s. That is for sure, until Mattel took over. Yeah, there was some clunkers, but how many people complain about Mattel stuff to this day? I mean, we just talked about Ravishing Rick Rude coming all stained on his, the plastic all stained from his robe. I mean, there is errors. Nobody is perfect, unfortunately. But, you know, we all strive there. I don't care if it's Jakks, Jazzwares, Mattel, Hasbro. They're all striving for perfection. You know, me every day in my business world dealing with the brands I represent and stuff, we're dealing for perfection every day. One angry customer, you know, that's it. That's all it takes to lose them. You know, there's an old saying, you lose them a loaf at a time, you gain them back a slice at a time. And that's really true. I mean, if somebody's turned off to a bad figure or whatever, you might lose them for the whole line. And it's really tough to get them back. That's where the slice, you know, it's a slice at a time back. You lose them at a loaf, you get them back a slice at a time. So take that. You can use that tip in your everyday world, in your business world. But let's move on to another one from Classic Series 2. All right, we keep the train rolling, and this is one of my favorites. As you guys know, I absolutely love G.I. Joe, and Sgt Slaughter being part of the Joe team, especially when I was hot and heavy into it. I actually loved Sgt Slaughter more as a G.I. Joe than I do as a wrestler. He was okay as a wrestler. Probably one of my least favorites for the Royal Rumble when he beat the Ultimate Warrior. Just absolutely ridiculous. I'm still writing letters weekly to this day, trying to get that one reversed. Hasn't happened. But here's Sgt Slaughter, early Sgt Slaughter. Early Sgt Slaughter as far as the Classic Series go. But I would say they nailed him right off the bat. They gave us the jacket. They gave us the nightstick with the Big Boss Man. I believe there was kind of a little bit of a why does he come with the nightstick? But I believe there's footage out there or something with him and the Big Boss Man, and he took it from him or something along them lines. But awesome army fatigues. You know, you couldn't have got much better for Sgt Slaughter right out of the books for the classic line. Picture on the side, same packaging as usual. There's the glamour shot up top. The rest of the line, of course. 2004. Let's see what they say about the old Sarge. Debuted in 1975. 320 pounds, 6'6". Finishing move, the Cobra Clutch. Titles, WWE World Heavyweight Champion. That's not right. So it's the titles, WWE Heavyweight Champion 4 times. I don't recall him winning that title 4 times, that's for sure. NWA United States Champion, NWA Tag Team Champion, NWA Canadian Champion. I got a pretty deep wrestling knowledge. I don't recall that one. AWA's America's Champion. Favorite quote? That's in order. I think his favorite quote should be "at ease disease," if you remember back to the Joe movie. One of the greatest lines of all time. I still use it to this day. But very cool Sgt Slaughter. Interesting, on the back of the package you can see him with a belt. No belt included on this one, but it does not have the jacket, so they included the jacket. I think we would all agree we would much rather have Sarge in this jacket he came with than with that terrible belt. So that is a good change, running change, that is for sure. So there he is, Sgt Slaughter, a favorite in the Joe universe, an alright guy in the WWE wrestling universe. Alright, next up, we've got Big John Studd. A lot of people don't like John Studd. I loved Big John Studd as a kid. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's the age group I came in. I know a lot of people bag on the guy, saying, you know, he was poor man's Andre or whatever. But I just thought he looked like a big, cool dude. You know, I came into wrestling around WrestleMania 3. I remember him winning the Royal Rumble, I believe. I remember WrestleMania 5 as the referee. I thought that was the coolest thing ever, you know, with the Andre and history and watching stuff. So I was excited to get Big John Studd. His LJN is extremely iconic from my childhood. Obviously did not have a Hasbro or really anything in between. But I always love big wrestlers, and Big John Studd is no different. So let's take a little look at John here. You can see the front there. Coming with the chair, that trusty microphone, because, you know, he was always spitting rhymes. He was a part-time rapper, so I think he always had a microphone ready to go in his back, you know, just in case a rap battle broke out. Or maybe I'm getting him confused with somebody else. I don't know. I don't remember John being a huge talker, that's for sure. So interesting with the microphone. You know, the chair, he obviously liked to sit down, so they said, hey, let's give him a chair. The guy sits a lot, like we all do. So there it is on the side, Big John Studd. Picture, I always like this glamour shot picture on the side. I don't know what it is, but it always kind of makes me laugh a little bit. It's kind of just looking off into the distance, looking, thinking about things. But a cool figure. They also came out with a Deluxe Classic down the line. We'll get to that way down the line when we get to those Deluxe Classic figures. I always thought his Deluxe Classic looked like Michael P.S. Hayes. But like I said, we'll get to that. Back of the package, same Glamour Shot picture used at the front. You will notice, though, he came with a tag team title, which is interesting. I'm sure maybe he was tag team champion, but boy, I cannot place when or with who. I remember him teaming with Bundy. Maybe it was earlier on, I don't know. But let's read the back here and see a lot of inaccuracies on this one, that's for sure. So, debuted in 1977, 365 pounds, 6'10". Finishing move, the reverse bear hug. Yeah, the reverse one. So then it says, this is where it gets interesting. Titles, WWE Tag Team Champion, comma, WWE Tag Team Champion, comma, WWE Royal Rumble winner, 1989, and then WWA Tag Team Champion. His favorite quote, which I guess he said all the time if it's his favorite, I'm the real giant. So there you go. So, inaccuracies, they put WWE Tag Team Champion on the back twice. That was a little interesting. WWA Tag Team Champion. I'm not even familiar with the WWA. I don't know. Maybe that's Washington Wrestling Association. I'm sure somebody in the comments can correct me, but off the top of my head, I cannot remember that. But originally, he came with the tag team title, like I said, on the back. No stars on the side of his tights, which would be a huge miss. On the actual one, he came with the microphone and the chair, of course, and has stars on his pants. His LJN look, which is his most iconic look. I'm glad that's the way they did. The Deluxe Classic, when we get to it, totally different look. That's why the confusion sets in. Because when I think John Studd, probably like a lot of you, we think this look. The white tights, the bright red boots, the blue stars on the side. That's Big John Studd to us. But a favorite figure of mine, one I actually, until this moment, never thought about really. I need to get a loose one of this. I like this figure so much. Like I said, I like Big John Studd. So a very, very cool figure. Happy to have this one. But that is him, John Studd, Series 2 Classic Superstars. Let's get to another figure. All right, we keep rolling along with George the Animal Steele. An awesome figure. Talk about toyetic. Saw this on the pegs, just jumped off the shelf at me. I'm wondering what little kids at the time thought, a little 12-year-old kid or something that obviously in 2004 had no idea who George the Animal Steele was, most likely. They probably said, who is this old hairy man and why do they have a wrestling figure of him? But very, very cool. I love the detail of the hair on him. A turnbuckle it comes with, as we all know, George Steele would eat those turnbuckles. Name on the side, of course. There he is, the green tongue. I mean, they really killed it with this figure. That is for sure. That turnbuckle, I'm not sure if that's an actual turnbuckle that was used for Jakks, or that would make sense if this was just a ring one they randomly put in there, or if it was one just made specifically for this. I'd have to do a little more research there. Once again, in the comments, I'm sure one of you guys can tell me. He also came with his very trusty piece of wood. He was also a logger, a lumberjack, I think, up in Detroit area, a little northern Michigan. The UP, the Upper Peninsula, if you will. George Steele, I think, was in the off-season of wrestling. He was a teacher, I heard, but really he was lumberjack teaching people how to be a lumberjack and dealing with wood and whatnot. At least that's what I'm going to tell myself, why they put this piece of wood with George the Animal Steele. But like I said, I do love this figure. Another little Easter egg here, there's different versions of hairiness on this George the Animal Steele. This is the only one I have. I didn't get caught up in all the different, no hair, painted on hair, and then real chest hair. I wanted the real chest hair version. I'm not even sure at this point what's the rarest. That's probably not this one. But this is the best looking one of the bunch. Maybe someday I'll play the long game. When I'm done with my Jakks collections, the LJN collections, and whatever else I need, maybe I will. Maybe I'll jump in. I'll get some of these weird variants like that Dude Love with yellow wrist tape and stuff. I don't know. It just seems kind of like a waste to me, and if I can't display it, I don't really want it. That's kind of the rule I have in my collection, and I don't know if I got room for 3 George the Animal Steels. But we'll see. We'll see what the long game happens here, and we'll read the back of this one. Debut, 1962, 280 pounds, 6 feet tall. Finishing move, the flying hammerlock. There's an old one for you. Favorite quote, do you get it? I don't remember him saying that. maybe he did. I just kind of remember being jibber jabber and blah blah blah. And you know, for somebody my age, we know George Steele mostly from his time with Miss Elizabeth and Macho Man and that feud. You know, around WrestleMania 3 and before. That is George Steele to the majority of us. No, you know, he was a road agent after he retired. He was also a school teacher, as they say. But I don't remember a lot of George Steele the old days. I believe he wrestled Bruno, was a lot more feared, not comical and stuff like that. Definitely a classic superstar, definitely deserving a spot in this line. Happy they did it. This is his one and only figure in the line. On the back of the package, a very cool look. You can see no chest hair on that one on the back of the package. But this one is extremely hairy. I mean, you can see it like crazy. I know I did an unboxing of a Ring Raid Shawn Michaels months ago. Let's say it was 17.5 that had the real chest hair. It's reminiscent of that, but expanded on his whole body. So a very toyetic figure, a very cool figure. And if you're picking and choosing in the Classic Superstars line, I think this is a must-have. This is one of the must-have figures. And it's almost would be my favorite of the line, possibly. But we got one more, and that is my favorite of the line. All right, all good things must come to an end, but we're going to end with the best of Classic Superstars Series 2, the best figure in the set, my absolute favorite figure in the set, and that is the Nature Boy Ric Flair. One of my all-time favorite wrestlers, probably you guys too. I grew up watching Ric Flair in NWA, WCW, WWF. Followed almost his whole career, really. Just an awesome figure. This is taking the Ric Flair figures to the next level. A classic Ric Flair look, classic robe that's just breathtakingly beautiful. I put the Jakks robes for Ric Flair right up there with Mattel to this day. I think they really knocked these out of the park. My favorite Ric Flair in the classic line would be the Ric Flair in the green, I think. But we'll get to that down the line. But this one is a solid figure. I mean, the robe really sets it to the next level. Can you imagine if this didn't come with a robe? It just wouldn't be the same. It's a plain figure with blonde hair and red tights and boots, basically. But that robe is what brings it to the next level. There it is on the back. You can see. Also, I should tell you guys the belt there. You can see it underneath the robe. A great touch putting the belt in here. And it's actually a good belt. That's one of my favorite belts Jakks ever came out with. Jakks, as we talked about, have had some terrible belts, but this one always stands out, always looks awesome. Let's read about Ric Flair. 1972 debut, weight 243 pounds, 6'1", same as me. Finishing move, the figure 4 leg lock, of course. So now, let's get into the titles here. WWE Champion, Tag Team Champion, NWA WCW World Heavyweight Champion, NWA WCE United States Heavyweight Champion, NWA World Tag Team Champion, NWA Missouri Heavyweight Champion, NWA Mid-Atlantic TV Champion, NWA Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight Champion, NWA Mid-Atlantic Tag Team Champion, and his favorite quote, "Woo!" as we all know. So there it is. Ric Flair, that's quite the title history, and if there was anybody that needed to be in the Classic Superstars line, it would be Ric Flair. A total no-brainer. You know, we'll do a video down the road about the guys that should have been in this line that never had a chance. You know, obviously Macho Man Ricky Steamboat missing from this line. A lot of people there, but I'll do a top 10 list. Who's missing from the Ultimate Jakks Classic Superstars list. A lot of fun videos to come with these Jakks Classic Superstars. Like I said before, we're going to run through series 1 through 28. We're going to run through the series of the tag team packs, the series of the 3-packs, the series of the deluxe classic packs, the series of the best ofs. We're going to run through the Toy Fair, the Wizard, the Ringside Collectibles, all the exclusives. We'll do a video on the 1 of 100s. There is a lot of Jakks videos to come, so hopefully you guys enjoyed Jakks. Come back every Tuesday for a new Jakks Classic Superstars video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Next week, Jakks Classic Superstars Series 3. But until next time, please like the video, please comment, please share, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys all real soon.